Fruits have always carried this glowing reputation of being the healthiest snack on the planet. And in most cases that's true. They're natural, packed with fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, you name it. But what most people don't realize is that after the age of 60, your body starts to handle food differently. That includes fruit. Dr. Ethan Russo, a neurologist and brain health specialist, has made it his mission to raise awareness about how certain fruits, despite their benefits, can negatively affect the brain and overall health in older adults. His findings? Some of the most popular fruits, like bananas, grapes, and oranges, may contribute to blood sugar spikes, dehydration, inflammation, and even cognitive decline in seniors. And it's not about eliminating fruit from your diet, but about understanding which ones to limit, how to time your intake, and which safer options to consider. Let's go deeper into the 9 fruits he warns about, and break down why they can be dangerous for seniors. Bananas are often seen as the perfect on-the-go snack. They're rich in potassium, great for muscle function and heart health, and they're easy to digest. But here's where things go sideways. Ripe bananas, especially the overripe ones with brown spots, have an incredibly high glycemic index. That means they spike your blood sugar quickly. For seniors, this can lead to sudden energy crashes, brain fog, and worse, long-term blood sugar dysregulation. If you're already managing diabetes, prediabetes, or taking blood pressure medication like ACE inhibitors, the extra potassium could tip the balance in the wrong direction, straining your kidneys or causing heart palpitations. Better alternative: choose greener bananas, which contain more resistant starch and less sugar. Or swap them for a handful of walnuts and blueberries, which are more brain-friendly. They look innocent enough, tiny, colorful, and refreshingly sweet. But grapes are one of the most misleading healthy snacks, especially for people over 60. Their sugary nature, low fiber content, and chemical exposure make them a triple threat to aging brains. First, let's talk sugar. Grapes, particularly the seedless and extra-sweet varieties commonly sold in stores, have a deceptively high sugar load. Just 1 cup can contain over 23 grams of sugar. Unlike fruits like apples or pears, grapes offer very little fiber to slow down the absorption of that sugar. So what happens? A fast, sharp blood sugar spike. This sudden glucose rush forces your pancreas into overdrive, demanding more insulin. Over time, these frequent spikes lead to insulin resistance, a key factor in cognitive decline, vascular issues, and an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. But it doesn't stop there. Grapes also rank high on the list of fruits most contaminated with pesticide residues. Many commercial vineyards use multiple types of fungicides, insecticides, and herbicides, some of which linger on the thin grape skins that are almost impossible to wash clean. Seniors, who may already have weakened detox systems or be on medications that burden the liver, are more vulnerable to the effects of these toxins. Some studies have even suggested that long-term pesticide exposure could disrupt neurotransmitter function and damage the blood-brain barrier, the brain's protective shield. And here's another factor most people overlook: portion size. Because grapes are bite-sized and addictive, they're often eaten mindlessly. You don't feel full after a handful, so you keep going, doubling or even tripling your sugar intake without realizing it. This habit not only overstimulates the brain's reward system, similar to the effect of sugary processed snacks, but also sets the stage for fatigue, irritability, and brain fog later in the day. While grapes do contain resveratrol, a powerful antioxidant found in the skin, it's important to understand that the amount in a typical serving of grapes is quite small. You'd have to eat pounds of grapes to match the resveratrol used in scientific studies that show cognitive benefits. And at that point, the sugar damage would outweigh any potential upside. For seniors who still want the occasional handful of grapes, Dr. Jack recommends moderation and pairing them with protein or fat, like a few almonds or a slice of cheese, to blunt the blood sugar impact. Even better, switch to berries like blueberries or blackberries, which offer similar antioxidants with less sugar and far more fiber per bite. More than just a sweet treat, grapes highlight a larger truth. The foods we once saw as harmless, even helpful, can quietly work against our health goals if we're not paying attention, especially as we age. At first glance, pineapple seems like a nutritional jackpot, bright, juicy, and loaded with vitamin C. 1 cup of fresh pineapple delivers more than 100% of your daily vitamin C needs, which supports immune function and tissue repair. It also contains bromelain, an enzyme known for its ability to reduce inflammation and improve digestion. Sounds like the perfect fruit, right? But here's where things take a complicated turn, especially for people over 60. As the body ages, the stomach lining becomes thinner and more sensitive to acidic foods. Pineapple, unfortunately, ranks high in natural acidity. For seniors dealing with acid reflux, ulcers, or weakened digestion, consuming pineapple, even in moderate amounts, can trigger heartburn, stomach irritation, and disrupted gut balance. Even more concerning is how pineapple's sugar content interacts with aging metabolism. A single cup contains roughly 16 grams of sugar. While that might not raise a red flag in younger adults, for seniors, especially those managing insulin sensitivity or taking medications that affect blood sugar, this sweet fruit can cause unexpected glucose spikes. And these spikes, when repeated over time, can impact blood vessel health and potentially impair cognitive function. There's also the issue of how pineapple is consumed. Many people enjoy it in smoothies or juices, which often contain concentrated sugars and little to no fiber. Without the fiber to slow absorption, these sugars hit the bloodstream rapidly, triggering insulin surges that can inflame the brain and leave you feeling mentally sluggish. If you're reaching for canned pineapple packed in syrup, the health risks multiply even faster. So while pineapple isn't inherently dangerous, it's a classic example of a healthy food that can become harmful when misunderstood. For seniors who enjoy it, moderation is essential, along with pairing it with protein or fiber-rich foods to buffer the sugar load. At first glance, watermelon seems like the perfect fruit, especially for older adults during the warmer months. It's light, sweet, and made up of more than 90% water, so naturally you'd think it's an excellent way to stay hydrated. But according to Dr. Jack, the story beneath that juicy red flesh is far more complex, and not in a good way for those over 60. Here's the catch. Watermelon contains a high concentration of fructose, a type of sugar that doesn't just elevate blood glucose, it also triggers a mild diuretic effect in some individuals. This means that instead of helping your body retain fluid, it can actually encourage your kidneys to flush it out. For seniors who are already more susceptible to dehydration due to reduced thirst sensitivity and changes in kidney function, this hidden effect can be especially risky. You might feel refreshed at first, but within an hour or two your brain and body could be more depleted than before. Even more concerning is the impact this subtle dehydration can have on brain function. The human brain is roughly 75% water, and even mild dehydration can impair memory, concentration, and balance, issues that are already common among older adults. Combine that with a sugar spike from the fruit's natural sugars, and you have a recipe for mental fatigue, irritability, and even dizziness, especially in those already managing blood pressure or cognitive issues. Plus, let's not forget that the glycemic index of watermelon is surprisingly high. It ranks around 76 on the GI scale, which means it's absorbed rapidly into the bloodstream. This fast absorption causes a sharp rise in insulin levels, followed by a quick drop, leaving seniors feeling drained, mentally cloudy, and hungrier than before. It might quench your sweet tooth, but it does very little to sustain real energy or support stable cognitive function. That doesn't mean watermelon has no place in a healthy diet. The key is portion control and pairing. Eating small amounts of watermelon alongside a handful of pumpkin seeds or a slice of avocado can help slow sugar absorption and stabilize the hydration process. But eating a large bowl of watermelon on an empty stomach, especially in the afternoon heat, that's where things can go wrong, particularly for aging bodies that can't regulate water and sugar as efficiently as they once did. In short, watermelon's cooling sensation may fool you into thinking it's helping, but beneath that sweet surface, it may be quietly working against your brain and body's long-term health. Oranges are widely praised for their vitamin C content, but for seniors, citrus fruits come with serious caveats. Compounds found in citrus, especially in grapefruit but also in oranges, can interfere with how your liver processes medications, including statins and calcium channel blockers. This can lead to toxic drug buildup in your bloodstream, causing dizziness, muscle pain, and more severe complications. Even if you're not on medications, the acid content can wear down tooth enamel and irritate sensitive digestive systems. Better alternative: try kiwi or guava, which offer vitamin C benefits without the same level of drug interaction risks or acidity. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Not so fast. Apples are generally healthy, especially for fiber, but Dr. Jack warns about one big problem: pesticide exposure. Apples consistently rank among the top fruits with the highest pesticide residues, often substances linked to neurological issues. For seniors, especially those with compromised detoxification systems, consuming non-organic apples can increase the risk of inflammation and oxidative stress, two key contributors to age-related cognitive decline. Better alternative: buy organic apples and eat them with almond butter to slow the sugar release. Or switch to pears, which have similar benefits and are often lower in pesticide exposure. Tart cherries are often celebrated for reducing joint pain and inflammation. But sweet cherries, especially in large amounts, are packed with sugar. And because they're so small and tasty, it's easy to eat 20 or more in a sitting, racking up over 25 grams of sugar. Eating that much sugar in one go can spike insulin, disturb your sleep cycle, and increase the risk of cognitive fatigue. This is especially problematic if you eat cherries as a dessert before bed, as many people do. Better alternative: stick to tart cherry juice in small quantities, or pair cherries with Greek yogurt to balance the sugar load. Strawberries are loaded with vitamin C, manganese, and antioxidants like anthocyanins. But they're also the #1 fruit on the Environmental Working Group's Dirty Dozen list. The pesticide residues on conventionally grown strawberries have been linked to hormone disruption and neurological decline, particularly in aging populations. If you're eating strawberries daily without washing them thoroughly, or worse, buying non-organic, you're exposing your brain to compounds that can accelerate aging and memory problems. Better alternative: choose organic strawberries or switch to blueberries, which are less chemically treated and even more beneficial for brain health. Mangoes are smooth, sweet, and loaded with vitamin A and antioxidants. But they're also one of the highest fructose fruits on the planet. Unlike glucose, which your entire body can use, fructose is processed almost entirely in the liver. When you consume too much fructose, especially from fruit smoothies or dried mango, it puts a heavy burden on your liver and contributes to insulin resistance. In older adults, this can eventually lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is now linked to brain shrinkage and increased Alzheimer's risk. Better alternative: go for peaches or nectarines in moderation. They're still sweet but with less fructose and a lower glycemic load. Dr. Jack emphasizes that fruit isn't the enemy. The real danger lies in how we consume it: too much, too fast, at the wrong time, and without understanding how our aging bodies react. Seniors should prioritize fruits that are lower in sugar, higher in fiber, and rich in antioxidants, without the baggage of drug interactions, acidity, or pesticide exposure. Timing matters too. Eat fruit earlier in the day, pair it with healthy fats or protein, and avoid late-night fruit snacking that can disrupt sleep and brain detox. Ultimately, fruit should support your brain, not sabotage it. If this video opened your eyes to some of the hidden dangers of your favorite fruits, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone over 60 who might benefit from this. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss more brain-saving insights like these. Want to protect your memory, energy, and brain health for the long run? It all starts with the little things, like the fruit you pick for breakfast. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.